also like, oh, he's a jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, should
It's
I,
like
should
he's
I,
got milkshake duct.
Yeah. Yes.
are you talking about me? Should I leave?
Never. No. And if we're talking about, you should stick around. It's more fun. So Tim, we've got Mickey and Majid, and you is a quorum. Amy
Yay.
is in from the car, and we'll leave this up to Amy. Would you prefer to just duck out, or do you want to stick around and chime in periodically as necessary? It's I think your call.
I vote that Amy stays safe.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, there's nothing here that's,
My phone is totally cutting out too.
Okay, Wayne,
I
put
can
it
only
on.
hear like every other word.
Okay. Well, thank you, Amy, for doing your darndest. And we'll catch you next meeting.
Sorry
Yeah.
for the car.
thanks, Amy. Yeah, there's nothing here dire that we're gonna spend
Drive
somebody's
safe.
life.
Yeah. All right. Drive
Yeah.
safe. Have a good time
Sorry, Al, thank you.
with your work
Bye.
event. Bye.
Bye.
I am trying to find the agenda, Wayne, but anyways, we're ready to roll, right?
Yeah, it was an email attachment that might help
Yeah.
you find it for like
I've
the
got it, but I can't get to the agenda, or can I? No, it won't
it's
pull
a-
up the agenda hides behind you.
oh, you can't if you click on it. Oh, because are you on a phone or a laptop?
I'm on a phone,
Oh, yeah.
which is my laptop.
Right. Got it. All right.
we're
Well, I
ready to roll.
can. Yeah. So let's see. Let me.
First, we gotta do is our Zoom rules.
Yeah. So let me
Wait a minute, I get
start
the
up a recording.
Yeah.
And when we you hear that, you can call it to order, and we can sort of go through the agenda, and I'll try to chime in with agenda points since you can't actually see it. Let me start up our remote recording, and then you can start the meeting, Tim.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we're ready. Good evening, everyone. Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. Welcome to Eastern Historic Commission meeting. First, if Wayne would please read us the rules of Zoom.
Of course, please hold. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain state of emergency accommodations, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board and commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting may be broadcast live and will be recorded on ECAT. So folks who are attending the meeting, either as project proponents or as members of the public, you are in a sort of attendee holding pattern, and when the relevant agenda item comes up, I can promote you to a panelist. And also, if you wish to comment when invited to do so by the chair, raise your hand, and I'll also allow comments and participation from members of the public. So the next thing we need to do is take a roll call attendance to ensure that people are here.
Do we want to designate?
Well, let's do a roll call attendance, and
Roll
then we
call.
can designate
Okay.
Mickey. Yeah.
All right, Hurley here.
Lashkari, yes.
Okay,
Wolf present.
great.
Okay, and we need a vote to bring Mickey in as a voting member.
Correct. Yeah. So motion
Early,
and
yeah.
second. Okay.
Lashkari, yes.
Okay, so it's a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote?
Yeah, Hurley, aye.
Yeah.
Majid already got us.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess I vote myself.
Love it.
It'd be really funny if I said no.
Well, you haven't heard that.
And we have some unhappy folks.
Yeah.
All right, and then next up we have the and for folks just joining the meeting, Tim actually cannot see the agenda. It's he's trying to do this on his phone, so I'm going through the agenda on his behalf. Next item is the demolition review application for the 45 Central Street garage. We have John Allaire, who is the project proponent, and I will now promote him to panelist.
Hi, John.
Let's see, there he is. Perfect.
Hello, John. Can you hear me,
And-
Wayne?
He can hear you. He's muted. There we go.
I'm unmuted. Sorry.
How are you, everybody? Nice to
Hi,
meet
hi,
you.
John.
Good.
Congratulations, Mickey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you voted for you.
Folks had in the advanced materials, the demolition review application for 45 Central Street. And I believe last week I also sent out a link to the rather large document of the Central Street area forum if people wanted to research the property further. And John, if you could give us a very quick overview of what it is you're proposing.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, everybody, very much. So my wife and I just bought this property. It's a 2-family at 45 Central Street, and it has a garage, 2-car. And originally, when we had seen it from a distance, if you will, we thought, the garage could be great for storage, maybe for the use of one vehicle. It's actually a little bit behind a mudroom that I think was added to the property later at some point, don't know when. All that to say, once we did the home inspection, it became easily apparent that the garage there's really not much left to it, actually. Not much is holding it up. There is an old post from a mailbox that seems to be holding up the back wall. The garage floor is also deteriorated badly. All this to say that I would have loved to have kept it. I thought it would have been great to have a 2-car garage for use or storage or whatever, but it would just entail building a whole new garage. Really, none of it is salvageable. So it's either leave it there as I would say an unsafe structure, or just take it down and not try and do a new one. Admittedly, the garage you might have seen, and I'll finish, is like one corner of it, I think, is 15 inches from the lot line, and the other corner is 18 inches or something. It's literally on the lot line. So I think, is that a good enough overview? Does that
I
explain?
think so. And folks may also remember from the picture, and as John just mentioned, that addition to the mudroom actually makes 1/2 of the garage inaccessible with a car.
Correct.
A quick overview for the public. For demolition review applications, there are several steps that the commission goes through. The first is a demolition application comes in. If the building is 75 years or older, the applicant comes to the historical commission with a demolition review application. The commission then makes several determinations. The first threshold is whether or not the structure in question is historically significant. If the commission determines it is not historically significant, it proceeds to demolition. If they determine it is historically significant, they advertise a public hearing and hold a public hearing and then make a determination as to whether it's preferably preserved for a 12-month demolition delay period, not preferably preserved so that demolition moves forward, or not preferably preserved subject to conditions which have to be fulfilled in order for the demolition to continue.
And thanks for that pamphlet. It's bigger than a pamphlet, that information about the whole area.
Oh,
Actually
yeah, the Central
sounded
Street area form. Yeah, it's pretty
fascinating.
interesting
Yeah,
stuff.
it was
Yeah.
awesome. My in-laws live in one of the buildings that's in there, and
Oh, neat.
but anyway,
Cool.
thank you. I loved it.
You're welcome.
I propose tearing off the mudroom and rebuilding the garage. Historically. No?
Are there any historical commission funds available for that?
Yes, yeah, right. John, you could, if you wanted to, rebuild that garage in place and get away with your sidelines right now. You would have to do it
Yep.
piece by piece if you were trying to at all salvage a garage. If not, I don't see anything historic here. I dated a girl up the street. I drove by it twice a day. That's about the only history I can tell you about.
Was she on Central, Tim, or was she what street?
On Beatty Lane.
Oh yeah, I love Beatty Lane, that little dead end street where
Yeah,
Lee Williams used to live.
Correct.
Of course, love Lee. Yeah.
So yeah, anybody else want to chime in on?
I think I agree with you. I think even if it's listed historic, but with the situation that it is right now, and it is about a garage, 2-car garage, I don't think it is. To me, it's not significant.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Mickey, anything?
No, feel the same. And if I could make the motion to find it not historically significant. Did I get that right, Wayne?
Correct.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I'll motion.
I'll second it.
Yes, Lashkar, yes.
Okay. So we get a motion and second.
And Majid, I think, voted yes for the roll call
Yes,
vote, so.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So
Wolf,
that's
yes.
the three of us.
Okay.
No,
Well-oiled
but it'll be
machine.
something historically significant that I was Mickey's first voting thing. That seems like that's significant. I think we should note
No,
that somewhere,
that's
keep
the-
track of that,
yeah.
small brass plaque put up somewhere, whatever.
There you
nothing
go.
big.
There you
Yeah.
go.
When you rebuild the garage, you can put it on there.
Yes.
All right, so thank you. So we have a determination that the garage behind 45 Central Street is not historically significant. A motion by Wolf, a second by Hurley, and a unanimous roll call vote of the three quorum members attending. So Jonna will put together a letter for Tim's review and signature, and I'll send that to you and the building inspector in the next few days.
That's excellent. I want to thank all of you for your time and for all the work you do, by the way. I'm such a big Easton fan. I'm the owner of Easton Real Estate up in the Shaw Supermarket Plaza there, right beside the Bank of America. And I just love Easton. I feel like all of the real estate companies, they named them after themselves. I'm like, oh, no, I want to be named after Easton. Like, I just love the town. I used to volunteer. I didn't want to say any of this beforehand, but I used to volunteer over at the Borderland Mansion and lifetime member of the library, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thank you guys, all of you
Thank you,
guys.
John.
And ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks for
And,
coming into us.
Thank you, and good best of wishes with the growing family. Hope that all goes well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you as well.
Night.
Then the next thing on the agenda is a 2 Howard Street. It's a discussion with the plans with the new owner. There's a plot plan that was distributed earlier that shows the proposed location and subdivision of the parcels. I believe the owner may be joining us by telephone. I think he has a work commitment. I see a 774 phone number. I'm going to promote that to panelists. I believe this might be Mr. Carroll. Come on. Okay, all I can do is allow it to talk, so I can't promote. There we go. So, Mr. Carroll, if that's you on the telephone, if you could unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Great. This is the first time I've ever had to call into a Zoom meeting. I apologize if you guys hear some background noise. I got stuck actually in Boston, and it's not my office. I'm actually on a sidewalk out in front of a building in here. So I apologize for background noise. But so I'm here again for 2 Howard Street. It is a 18th century center chimney cape that I'd really like to preserve. It's on about an 8-acre parcel of land if you look at all 3 pieces. Our proposal is to do essentially what I think this commission endorsed over on Lincoln Street, with a twist in that we're hoping to move the historic structure. So our hope is to move it about 55 feet to the left, create a second parcel on the lot, which would be just over 19,000 square feet and meet all the frontage requirements, and go to the ZBA to seek a variance for that lot to allow it to be less than the full acre compliance for the residential zone, in light of really the preservation and sort of the effort that we're going to go to try to save the house. So I'm here. I've had a conversation with Wayne. I was in front of you guys, I believe, back in January. We've advanced the project to get some plans done. And I am hoping to go through the next round of meetings with the ZBA. And I was hoping to get the endorsement of this commission, or at least a letter of support speaking about the project. I also understand and apologize that I'm quite limited with what I can show you guys tonight, and I'd be happy to do this again. But I wanted to at least start the conversation and bring it before you.
Sure. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. I don't think, there's only 3 of us here tonight, but I speak, I think, for all that are here, that we're more than happy that you're willing to relocate an existing structure. I won't speak for everyone else, but I will let them, anyone else has an opinion.
I concur.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so
I
What-
had a couple of other questions.
Yeah,
Sort of a smaller one is I noticed on the plan that there's a third lot back by the power lines. What are your plans for that?
I have no plans for that. The vast majority of that land, pretty much all of it, is wet.
Yeah, I
Um,
figured, yeah,
so
it's very wet.
what
back there.
I have done on a couple of other projects that I've done is I'm on the conservation commission, and I
Okay,
have in other in other towns just retained wetlands, really
Mhm.
with a thought towards essentially a 30-year event horizon and what happens with preserving and holding title to these pieces. I have no real goal for them. I just think the sort of tax burden of unbuildable land is very insignificant, and
Mhm.
it could make for an interesting preservation portfolio at some point.
Mhm. Okay. And then, what are your plans for the exterior materials and for the central chimney?
So I am hoping to save the existing center chimney on that house. The house is in, I mean, it's in pretty rough shape. It's structurally, but more cosmetically. So
Mhm.
pretty much everything that's existing for exterior materials on that as it stands are things that have been done to it over the past probably 70 years. So a
Mhm.
lot of the exterior materials are going to be stripped off in the process and moving the house. My hope is that I can save the center chimney, at least the exterior portion of the center chimney, and then rebuild it in place when we relocate it.
Mhm.
I'll tell you right now, if you took a walk through that house, I think the center chimney is probably the most structurally sound portion of the foundation, which might not surprise anyone if you've been in a lot of sort of this era of homes. But it's my hope to save the center chimney and to, I honestly don't have a solidified plan for the exterior of the house, but it would certainly be period appropriate siding.
So is it a wood shingle or siding house, do we think?
At the moment, it's a wood shingle house.
Okay.
Now, there are some drawings of it in the past. So I guess, I don't know how long the wood shingles have been on the house.
Mhm. Okay, because I think it's, you know, similar to the 149 Lincoln Street letter of support.
Yep.
And, you know, the interest of the commission is, you know, as you've heard, very, very happy and pleased to retain the house and rehabilitate it and relocate it. But also an interest in, as you mentioned, historically appropriate materials. So I
Absolutely.
believe the letter would include an understanding that you will try to retain the entire central chimney, interior and exterior, if you can. And also the exterior materials would be wood shingle siding, architectural asphalt shingles, windows with three-dimensional exterior grills.
Yep.
I think would be the things that the commission is looking for. Tim, is there any other things that one should reference?
I don't think the decking, maybe if there's any decking, I'm not sure.
Oh, around back or something? If they put it
Yeah,
down, but-
yeah, I think around back are okay. Street views
Yeah.
are a big priority of
Yeah,
street
the
view.
public right away. view.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wooden
Any
door,
decking that'd be
presumably.
done would certainly be behind the house.
Okay,
And
Okay.
I'd be more than willing to, I guess what I'd say too is I'd be more than willing to come back with siding and decking samples as we get closer
perfect,
to actually
perfect.
having something solidified too.
perfect. Yeah, that
Um,
way, yeah, neither one of us are committed to anything unknown right now, so that'll be fine.
And I'm wrapping up a project in Falmouth at the moment. It's an 18th century small, essentially a barn that was turned into a house.
Oh, neat.
And we went through the same thing. It's in a historic district, and we used the windows with the grills. We had the cedar shingle siding that was painted on the way through. So I'm not a stranger to the process, and more than willing to work with you guys to do something that makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So I'm hearing that the commission would support writing a letter of conceptual support for retaining, rehabilitating, and relocating the 18th century house at 2 Howard, with the understanding that the central chimney interior and exterior will be retained if possible. And that the exterior materials will be wood shingle siding, architectural asphalt roof shingles. The replacement windows will have three-dimensional exterior grills, and a wooden door, I believe, would make sense.
Absolutely.
And also the understanding that the proponent will has offered to come back to the commission with material samples and further consultation.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, with both, yes.
Okay.
Affirmation that this is what's happening, yeah, and yeah,
Okay.
please, yes.
Yeah, and then we can write that letter and you'll have that in your pocket as you go to the ZBA. Cool.
We there?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, very good.
Any-
I apologize for the less than professional background tonight.
No, that's
but
fine.
We'll figure this out.
You made your
Yeah.
effort. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for coming. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
I think I've caught up, Wayne. Are we on signs now?
I think so. Yeah. Yes, the wayfinding signs.
Okay. I'm under the impression that this is already a done deal. Am I correct or not?
Largely, yes. There was a process that began back in 2021. I think Mickey tried to participate, but all the meetings kept being scheduled when you had to work.
Yeah, I apologize. Every single one of them was like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I can't get out of work.
Yeah. And so this is a sort of townwide wayfinding effort and sort of unified signage. It's all throughout the town. It's welcome signs, parking signs, and then identifying institutions like the library, the police station, this sort of thing. And several of them are going to be in the local historic district. And there's an attached map that shows where they'd be.
Will they don't identify the local historic district, I don't believe.
They do not know, but you can see on the map where they're going to put them.
Could they, is there any way we can identify the local historic district?
Are you saying you would request a sign
Yes,
stating this is the Ames?
yes.
I don't know if that is something that could get put into the production budget, but we can definitely ask.
I mean, Northeastern Village is essentially, if we just add it onto the bottom of that and the Ames Local Historic District. Because we unfortunately, and I'll blame myself, made a poor decision on the color of the signs for the historic district. They're not visible at all.
Yeah, they look good as objects, but driving by, they're hard to see.
And there was no effort made. Matter of fact, I got a big hard no that they would not be put on any post. They would be attached to the closest telephone pole or whatever was nearby, which I was not real happy to hear because, just because, I mean, that's just crazy. We kind of got the poo-poo there, and I'd like us at this point to get a decent sign on its own, not stuck to a telephone pole. So you can lead me in a direction if you want, and I'll argue the case or.
Okay. Would it be fair that the commission vote to grant a certificate of appropriateness for the proposed signs and requests signage for identifying the Ames Local Historic District?
Yeah, I have a concern over this sign, actually. I think the sign by itself looks good, actually, what I see. But there is a logo that I don't understand where it's coming from exactly. And that's the logo with two shovels. I know that's the shovel shop. We have a logo for shovel shop. But, then we have these 4 triangles. One is red and the other are, gray, that I don't know what's the meaning of that. But not considering the entire thing that I said about the logo, I was wondering if, why we're not using the town logo. I think is more appropriate to have a town logo here, still keeping the arc, the brick arc. And yeah, that's my concern.
And I reply from my very incomplete, because I wasn't able to attend any of the meetings, but I was able to read kind of the summaries after the fact. I did try to stay as current as possible with it. There were a number of, I think, logos kind of considered. One of the things kind of being is like readability from the road as people kind of going by, legibility as there were a number of different suggestions, and that was the one that went through for a variety of reasons. And yeah.
I would appreciate if you guys know, let me know what was the, you know, the meaning of this sign that is coming from exactly, because I know there was a discussion, but that's something I don't know about, and I would like to know.
I believe the arrows are meant to be a compass indicating northeastern.
Right.
If you,
Well, it's due east, but I don't know about.
Yeah,
yeah.
Anyway.
it's eastern, so that's eastern. That's
If
what
you
the
give
red
me a
is.
moment, I can
eastern.
try to pull up the
Yeah, that is why the triangle, so it's a compass, and the red triangle is east.
East,
So it's
eastern.
eastern.
And the shovels pay homage to the Ameses, which is nice. You know, I don't know if it's,
H.H. Richardson Arch and you know, the Shovel
Yeah.
Town Cultural District
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Shovel Factory and so
which,
forth.
you know, I kind of agree with Majid, it's good around that area, but the rest of the town could have town seal or something, maybe, I don't know. Again, Wayne, are we arguing about something that's, you know, already out of the barn, or
Yes,
we are? Okay,
Yeah.
so,
so I actually, if you want to hear real quick, I just pulled up the minute. If anybody's interested, I can like give a quick summary of the last set of minutes from the wayfinding. The consensus of the group, there's a bunch of different sign families sent out. The consensus of the group is the blue sign family. There was a recommendation that Keystone block be added to the arch design. There was discussion about what kind of a bottom, the square bottom versus kind of, one of them was a scalloped bottom. They did not want to have the incorporated 1725 within the color band. There's a lot of really great concerns on accessibility in terms of folks being able to view these signs, which I thought I really appreciated. All in all, I think I'll just say it was having not been there, it was a really thoughtful discussion by the folks who were there in terms of trying to figure out the best possible, very clean, very, again, easy to read signs for the area. And I say all of this having never attended an actual meeting, but I promise you, I studied those minutes.
well, I gotta wonder if I'm driving by, if I see the town seal, or if I go by and I see these things and I gotta go back and see what they are and see that they're shovels. So I think it takes more than one pass to figure out what's going on here as far as the legibility from the roadside. But-
So the good thing about the town seal is that it has like with the bold and larger, you know, alphabets, it says Eastern. You can read it that this is Eastern. And that
Yeah.
maybe helps the way that Mickey was mentioning, you know, to add something that shows this is Eastern, you know. So
Well,
that's
it's welcome.
really my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a done deal, Wayne, right? They're looking for a letter of approval, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if it is done, I didn't know if this is done because
Yeah, I think it's,
I
yeah,
wasn't
we're-
aware of the fact.
I'm not quite sure what happened here, but.
Um, Sorry, I just say that there was a lot of discussion about the high school team colors, about the H.H. Richardson arches used in making sure that was incorporated. A lot of
Right.
people did have text legibility and ADA concerns for vehicular direction names, etc. I'd be happy to. The notes are public record, right, Wayne? I can just I can send out. I'd be happy to
Yeah.
share the.
They're
info.
even online, I believe, under,
Yeah.
you know, the minutes on demand on the town website, you go all the way
Yeah.
down to the bottom under wayfinding.
Yeah, the discussions were pretty interesting. They were really thoughtful, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's a done deal, so I think it's kind of a moot thing. We're going through the motion here to a letter of approval, Wayne? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Reluctantly, I make a motion to accept the proposed signage for the town of Easton.
Do you want me to make the motion, Tim? That way you could just second, you don't. have to do it.
I'm gonna
I'll
vote
take the hit,
affirmatively.
'cause I was supposed to be on the commission, so.
I'm gonna vote affirmatively anyway, so it's not,
Okay.
it's not a crap on the trip. So, yeah, if you want the
That-
first.
Yeah, yeah, that way you don't have to feel responsible for it. I'll make a motion for it.
Thank you. So a motion from Wolf to grant a
Yeah.
certificate of appropriateness for the proposed signage within the Northeastern, within the Ames Local Historic District in Northeastern.
Yes, and to please designate Ames Local Historic District if we can, did you just say that? I don't mean to be redundant.
No, that'll, so the motion from Wolf is to grant certificate of appropriateness for the proposed signage within the Ames Local Historic District in Northeastern. And to request that there be signage for the local historic district as well. If
Perfect.
Possible with the budget and so forth, yeah. Okay.
Second, Hurley, yes.
Lashkari, yes.
And Wolf, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to fly through here and see what's next.
The Historical Society proposed shed.
Yes, another horse that's already left the barn. If anyone's been by, the Historic Society has purchased a shed that kind of got ahead of us. They're asking for our approval of it. Has anyone seen it?
No, I didn't.
It's, you know, it's fine. Again, it is in place. It's kind of historically, you know, they try to mimic an 18th century shed or whatever, maybe a little more colorful than we would have desired, but it's a great quality. At least it's not a piece of junk. You'll see the Wayne did send out the pictures of it, or at least the proposed, when it was proposed. I don't know if we have any actual photographs or not.
It's just the specs that
Yeah, the
Thank
specs.
goodness.
It's identical to the specs. So, anyone, any comments?
No.
Motion to accept it as it exists?
the motion would be to grant a certificate of appropriateness
Correct.
for the storage shed at 80 Mechanic Street,
Yes, yes, a motion to accept that.
as per the plans and specs submitted. Yeah,
Right, right. Well, that's the motion then, please.
thank
I'll
you.
second.
Lashkari, yes.
Okay, Hurley, yes.
Wolf, yes.
Okay, we're in.
And then Tim, is there a chance that it might ever get painted, or is it the color it is?
I think it's the color it is right now, Wayne. I could ask them about muting it. You
Yeah,
know,
painting the trim or painting it a gray or something
Right.
like that.
It's semi brownstonish, if you will, more of a
Yeah.
brick red, I guess. And if we took the trim and painted that, it would more or less match the railroad station as being mono.
Yeah, I think even
monocolor.
just painting the trim, I think would tone down the noticeability of it.
Right, yeah, make it monochromatic, I think would help. I'll make the suggestion, whether it goes anywhere or not. I
Yeah,
don't know.
just, paint it like gray or.
Right, right.
Tan or something as opposed
Yeah,
to the bright.
yeah.
white. I don't-
Okay. Okay, that's, you'll send us a letter of appropriateness?
Yeah, I'll do the certificate for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What do we get next?
That is, and then, we should probably do the minutes. Well, we
Minutes.
definitely have quorum, so I mean, we're
Yes.
jumping around in the agenda a little bit. I want to make sure we take all the votes we actually have to. Okay, so do we have a motion and a second to accept the April 12, 2023 minutes?
I'll move. So moved.
Hurley second.
Lashkari, yes.
Okay,
Wolf,
Hurley,
yes.
yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Good job as usual.
Thank you.
And then the other vote we have is, so the Community Preservation Committee has various members from various boards who are annual terms as representatives of those boards. The Historical Commission representative is currently John Ventresco, who's not here tonight. John did say that he would be happy to accept the nomination if he was nominated.
Motion to keep John as our CPC representative.
So a
Second.
motion, thank you very much.
Lashkar, yes.
Hurley, yes.
Wolf, yes.
Johnny's in.
Excellent. So that was a motion and a second to nominate John Ventresco as the Historical Commission representative to the Community Preservation Committee.
Yep. He will continue to serve in that position.
Thank you. And then other items. The Historic Resources Survey Project update. Tim and Ed Hands and myself met yesterday to start drafting up a list of 60 potential buildings or sites for inventory, as well as for potential cemeteries, and 15 or so stones per cemetery. And this is for the Historic Resources Survey and Inventory Project being done by SWCA consultants. And Tim, you may have seen the email, their rep Madeline Helmer
Yes.
reached out, and so I responded, and Ed will have that draft list for us, he said, next week, I believe.
Yeah, it was kind of a soft next week. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's in process. That's the update there.
It's the first time, what, 3 or 4 years at least that we've done a surveys, right?
It's been a while, yeah. It's this was approved at town meeting, the funding, and I believe 2018 or something, but we could not find a consultant. Then we had the pandemic. And
Right,
then we still could not find a consultant. There are just
Right.
very few consultants who do this work anymore.
right. So we're lucky and happy to have somebody on board.
Yeah. A reminder that we have a couple of members with expiring terms at the end of June. And that's Greg Strange, Amy Spencer, and Mickey Wolf. So if those folks would like to reapply for another term, I think that would be marvelous.
I was just there taking an oath, Wayne.
All right, so that's Wolf, aye? Yes. Wolf.
Well,
Sucker.
since y'all were kind enough to move the meetings to Wednesdays now, so I don't have to miss my Tuesday softball games, I'm kind of locked in, so.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Do you have to do another application? I think another.
I think I have to
volunteer?
do another application, then I'll have to do another oath, so I'll have to figure out. I
Yeah.
wish I could have done, can you double oath? That would have been great.
Well, I think you were as an aside, I think you were the last oath administered by the town clerk employee who has now left. We have a new person in that role, so maybe, who knows?
Can I
if you
be
get
there
in
first?
soon.
Yeah, if I can do that, I'll double up. I'll be the last of one and the first of the other. That'll be
That would be
fantastic.
fun.
Wow,
Well, thank you, Mickey. Much
It's
appreciated.
No
gonna-
problem.
that's a
Thanks.
good resume point.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah, big.
but as it looked like she gave me the oath and that was it. She was done. She couldn't, she
That was
realized
it.
that was just
Couldn't
it.
take,
Yeah, she peaked. all
Life
downhill
could
from
not have
there.
gotten more perfect for her right then, so she quit.
It's exactly what happened. I was there.
ever the optimist.
God help me if that makes the minutes.
It will not, but it's
I know,
definitely
yeah.
recorded. It is recorded for posterity. So.
Oh, I know.
For posterior.
And then other relevant items. Tim, do you have any updates on the salvage person for 123 Depot Street?
No, still waiting here, and I'll make a note of that, and I'll call him in the morning again. He was coming down, he had something to look at in Fall River, but I talked to him maybe a few days after the meeting we had, and when was that, April? Yeah, so,
very end of March or something. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, saying the guy's gotta come down for Fall River, that doesn't mean it was tomorrow, I don't know what his schedule is,
Yeah.
so I'll check with him and call him again. He's out in New Hampshire, his name is Chris, I don't know his last name, but
Okay.
he did one for us years ago.
Well, thank you. And
Amy,
then,
Amy.
go ahead. What?
Amy proposed, not to me, but as a date to go out to do our Lincoln Street School or whatever school we're gonna get, grammar school next. She had said tomorrow, which I can't do, but next week sometime, maybe we can get out and do it.
Okay, so Hurley and Spencer hope to monitor the preservation restriction on the grammar school
Correct.
Next week.
Yes.
Okay, and I believe I've sent the preservation restriction and such to you guys in a form to fill out, but let me know if you need it again.
I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
Okay,
Amy.
ask Amy, yeah.
Yeah. Amy's got the brain.
Okay, and then, and this, I think historically has been more to do with, John and such, but a couple last items. There's the Boston Post cane, which is awarded each year to the oldest resident in Easton. The last recipient passed away a couple of years ago. There's no current holder of the Boston Post cane. It's in a corner of the town administrator's office. Sometimes it's the Historical Society that was a keeper of the tradition. In the last decade or two, it's been the Historical Commission. So it's basically a note to please restart it, or ask the Historical Society to do it, or what?
It was sponsored by Northeastern Savings Bank, of which Hazel Varela was an officer of the bank. And Hazel was also a member of the Historic Commission, Historic Society. So I think it just blended, Hazel kind of blended it into the preservation. And because it kind of made it a public thing, instead of going up to somebody's house, ringing the doorbell and handing the cane and said,
Yeah,
you're the oldest and next to go. So, it just kind of made it, if in fact the person was able to attend, it was nice.
yeah.
Who recently passed.
Was it John who shepherded or captained that effort on the commission's behalf recently, or was it you, Tim?
No, I would say it was still Hazel.
Oh,
But, Hazel's 90 and looking to,
have
she's,
someone else do it. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, she's stepping away from a lot of things now.
Mhm.
So, I'll ask Hazel. You would suggest you just go down to the clerk's office, town clerk, and provided whoever did their town census, I think their age would be on there. We could find it pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't know how the person was identified previously, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
that was it.
I don't-
Yeah, Hazel might be able to tell you. Yeah.
Maybe it was Hazel. So I'll have to ask, we had a ceremony for Hazel. Hazel,
Yeah.
Sunday, we dedicated the woman's side, but the railroad station had a men's side and a woman's
Oh,
side.
and the woman's waiting room. Got it.
Yeah, the woman's waiting room was dedicated to Hazel on Sunday.
Nice.
And Hazel stayed there from 12 to 4, and she had a chair on either side of her, and neither chair was ever empty. And she just chatted and chatted and chatted. It was really an awesome day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was a really sweet day. So,
So the
Yeah.
action item then, Tim, you'll talk to Hazel, see how it's
Yeah.
done.
and I'll see, the bank made the presentation at the awards ceremony. So the bank was still hands-on as
Right.
far as that. And again, it just made it, where else would you do it except knocking on the door and handing the cane? It's kind of
Yeah.
unceremonious. Although
Yeah.
we have gone to the house and made the presentation if the person is not able to get out. We have done that in the past.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, so we don't need preservation awards ceremony in order to continue this.
Yeah.
But-
You could like follow up and advise us on what we're doing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Hanging out there for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it. And with that, I'll segue into the preservation awards. I spoke with John and John said, let me think about it. He says, I really don't get rolling until August with this because he hits the schools
Mhm.
with the information. Obviously, there's no sense in doing it until September when the kids are in school. So, and I talked to John about it. And I think of like a lot of other things, COVID kind of just gave us a pause, and it's a little tough to get going as you get
Yeah.
older. Hello, yes. So it's and it's a photography thing. It's John's thing. He knows how to convert them and all this and that. It's really, it's 99 and 99% John. I carry stuff upstairs. I carry it down for the ceremony. Beyond that, I have minimal.
So I'm hearing from you that John does intend to run the preservation awards and will begin planning for it in August.
I think with a little.
Or John likely.
Yeah, I would say.
May.
yeah, I would say it's beyond a coin toss. It's better than 50-50, but yeah, I think, again, we're talking about it. And, you know, through COVID, the excitement was still there, as was the disappointment that we were unable to do it.
Yeah,
So I think now it's just a matter of, you know, gearing back up, if you will, and getting back into it. And it's a fun thing. I love doing that thing. We also, you know, at that time, we award a couple of people, you know, house signs, plaques, recognizing them for the job they've done on restoration, preservation, whatever. So,
yeah. Yeah, and a
That's
lot
awesome.
of the high school kids love the photography contests.
Yeah,
and have
yeah,
fun
it gets
with that.
people out, you know, and
Yeah.
that's how I
Look at
ended
the
up.
community, yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I think John wants, you know, a little nudge will get him rolling.
okay.
I'm
So-
sorry, like, if we're done with this piece, I have to go. My dog is like at the door and I think I gotta go. So,
Okay,
I'll see you all later. I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you. Thank you.
there goes our quorum. All right, motion to adjourn.
We're done, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, motion to adjourn.
Okay, so 7:15, all right. Thank you. Yeah, so anything else on the agenda?
There wasn't, I don't
No,
think.
yeah, we've hit everything.
Yeah,
And,
so we're all
yeah,
right.
There we go.
Cool.
So,
All right, all. Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right,
thanks,
thank you.
everybody. Really
Have a
appreciate
good
it.
night. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. Alrighty, bye.
Night, guys.
Bye.